go ahead and get some dinner.
We got a reservation.
Do we ever?
That's not a joke. We literally do.
It's
important that this goes quickly.
Yeah. It's an Ether Vial off of Horizon Canopy for Stein to get things started. For Barich, it's a Breeding Pool tapped. All right, well, that means it's a Blighted Agent hand. It's either a Blighted Agent hand or a Stinky Keep.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Stein's got Nation Ziggurat. Let's see what the follow-up's going to be. He's going to violin a Champion of the Parish, follow it up with a Noble Hierarch and another Noble Hierarch. So that champ is a 3-power creature that can attack for a whole lot more than that once Exalted works itself into the equation as we head back over to Aaron Barich. That is Ninkmoth Nexus. There is that Blighted Agent. No surprise there. 2 Infect creatures, though, on that turn. Very notable as Stein will move that Vial up to 2. Talked to Stein a little bit last round while Jerry T and Brian G were in the booth. Let me know that he was thinking about playing Dredge for a little while, but he said, you know what, Humans is actually pretty darn good again with the lack of gut shots and the real hate going towards the deck, so he elected to go towards this weapon instead, and it's working out pretty well.
Yeah, I think the initial builds of the Phoenix decks were a lot more hostile to Humans than kind of where the metagame has shook out.
This is a pretty good turn here for Stein. He's going to play a Mantis Rider and then violin a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, and come in here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total points of damage. Now Barich has to play through the taxing of Thalia in addition to one heck of a clock here.
I mean, Barich could conceivably die the following a turn, so he's got to be able to answer the Thalia somehow, not die, and probably win this game through next turn's attack step. It's asking a lot.
Barich, of course, a invitational champion, doing it with Mono Red and Infect as his weapons of choice after his good friend Tom Ross. As here is a Vine to the Vastwood with Kicker for 5 points of Infect damage. The question now is, can Stein kill? Well, that Thalia's Lieutenant says yes and then some, but I think Barich wants to make him go through it just in case. Stein is going to move the Vial up to 3. I believe this is more than enough to get the job done.
He only needed 2 extra points, and this is 5.
Yeah, here is Thalia's Lieutenant. All of these creatures are going to grow. Champion of the Parish is going to get 2 +1/+1 counters. Everything is going to grow. Barich just wants to see it in action. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 100 million billion, and Phantasmal, which was actually the draw as well. Should have left that Vial on 2 there, Abe. Duh. As Abraham Stein is going to win game number 1 here over Aaron Barich. Humans up a game over Infect as we prepare to take a look at the sideboards here for the 2 players. We knew it would be a quick one. Didn't know it was going to be that fast as we go with Aaron Barich to begin. 2 Spell Skites, 2 Ravenous Trap, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Nissa Voices Zendikar to go along with 5 one-ofs here. Nature's Claim, Distortion Strike, Dissenter's Deliverance, Dismember, and Dispel. Notable, not a lot of sideboard hate against Humans.
Well, I think, in fact, it's the type of deck that kind of wants to bring in 2 or 3 cards against everyone rather than 6 against some people and 0 against others, because the deck still needs to kind of maintain its shell. I like the Dismember and the Distortion Strike, and really beyond that, I think I would just leave it as is.
Over to Stein's side, we saw this sideboard a little bit earlier in the day. He's got 4 copies of Auriok Champion, 2 Militia Bugler, 2 Knight of Autumn, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Deputy of Detention, 2 Damping Spheres, and then that lone Dismember.
It should be light sideboarding here, too. I would bring in the Dismember and the Deputy of Detentions.
Yeah, I don't think you really need much more than that. Maybe, I don't even think Knight of Autumn is particularly good.
There isn't a whole lot to blow up.
You might be able to snag a Inkmoth Nexus through a Vial.
Yeah.
That's really it. I think that's asking a lot. Now, if you do think that Barich is going to bring in Spellskite, I suppose you might want to bring it in, but I think, again, that might be asking a lot.
Well, Spellskite, there's not a whole lot to be done with Spellskite in this matchup. It really only lines up against sideboard cards. Like, there's just not a whole lot to be done with it. I would be surprised if Barich brought it in. So I think Stein should just focus on keeping as much pressure in the deck as possible and then having a little bit of interaction.
Well, those are the options there for both players. They will sideboard shuffle up here for game number 2. Aaron Barich will be on the play, see if he can run away with Blighted Agent and friends. But we want to talk about the War of the Spark pre-release that is taking place here, folks, very, very soon. You think April 27th and the 28th is far away, but you are incorrect. It will be here sooner than you think. We've got this exclusive playmat available to participating stores. This is, of course, coup de pas at go.starcitygames.com/pre-releases, where you can find a participating store near you to get this playmat at your War of the Spark pre-release. Again, April 27th and the 28th is the date. You can register today, and you can find a pre-release that does have Coup de Pas at go.starcitygames.com/pre-release. Aaron Barich, of course, a former Invitational champion. Abraham Stein. A lot of near misses here on the SCG Tour for Stein. I think he's still looking for that first SCG Tour Open top 8, but an 8-0 start means he's getting, he's pretty close. He's right where he wants to be, as they say.
And up a game here. Won the die roll. Big deal in this matchup. Since someone just dies really fast through the attack step, and there's not a lot of interaction.
Again, tomorrow, we'll be back at 10 a.m. East Coast time, covering 6 rounds for you. We'll have a Day 2 metagame breakdown. We'll, of course, be aided with that by our friends over at Cardboard Live, where you can see the deck list that Abraham Stein and Aaron Barich are playing right now, if you'd like. What else will we have tomorrow? We'll have top 8. You can vote on the quarterfinals. Can't forget about that. We'll be going over more War of the Spark preview cards, and we'll have all Day 2 deck lists published as well after round number 15 is concluded. We got to type those up in the morning. Get here early. You can't play Magic Online this morning. You actually got to get up.
That's not true. I get up early. I walk down the street. I grab my cup of coffee. Go back in the room. Log on. Play a little bird.
Get mushed.
Die on turn 2. I got Show and Tell, Omniscient, Cunning Wish comboed out. That was turn 2.
That'll do it.
Turn 1, Mox Diamond Exploration. Play 2 lands. Untap Stage Depths. Go.
You still like playing that deck,
Discard Gristlebrand on the first turn. I got killed on turn 2 by Reanimator through a Tormod's Crypt.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right to me. Might be time for what we like to call new deck.
Well, that's the thing about the burn orbit. You have a deck for all formats, and then when 1 or 2 of them are badly positioned, you just play a bunch of the other.
You just go to the third one?
I play a lot of Standard right now. Standard deck's great. Happy with it.
Okay. I'm just not sure we're ever going to rotate to a point where burn is good in Legacy again.
Maybe not. All I got to do is keep grinding Standard until I have the tickets required to purchase the cards for Storm, and then I'll play Storm.
Okay.
I'm close. It's not that expensive. It's in striking distance. The Legacy metagame on Magic Online, by the way, is a hellscape. I don't know if you have played very much of it.
I have not.
Because now that there's the rental services, people can just dabble. They don't have to own the cards. You just play whatever.
Yeah.
In the average league, I think that I play against Delver 1 time in every 2 leagues. And in real life, you play a big paper event, Delver is probably a third of the decks you're playing against in some form or fashion. None of it on Magic Online. It is nothing but mono-red, Trinisphere, Chalice of the Void decks, Reanimator, Show and Tell, Omniscience. Someone played the Academy Rector for Planeswalkers the other day against me after Veteran Explorer, Cabal Therapy in my hand. It's like, for the people out there who reminisce about 2011 Legacy where it was just Wild West and everything went, play Magic Online right now. I'm telling you, there are no normal decks.
So I can just get out my Humans deck that I played.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Why not? You would be playing a fake deck just like everyone else.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Show and Tell Omniscience. Not even Sneak and Show. Couldn't even give me the extra turn. Had to be Omniscience Cunning Wish.
Oh, of course, you're dead. Hey, you gone. Mirish's Bauble is where Barich is going to start things. Play another Bauble. Play Pendelhaven. Play Glistener Elf. All right, let's go. Slow trip. Draw now. We're heading over to Abraham Stein. I like a good fake deck.
It is wild out there right now in the comp leagues.
Cavern Souls, Naming Humans. There's Noble Hierarch. Let's go back over to Barich. Not going to crack the Bauble yet as we head back over to Aaron.
He wants to know.
On his terms. On his timeline.
Well, if he's playing the fetch land, then maybe there's, wants the information if he wants the draw or a random one. A lot of decisions to be made with the Bauble.
Coming on in right now with the Glistener Elf. Nudging along. Big win today for your Padres.
I know.
Congratulations.
I'm reaching the point where I'm about to start sending texts to my Dodgers friends.
Checking in at a
We're
cool
coming.
6.
We're coming.
Checking in at a cool 6-3.
You know how you emptied out the farm for Machado?
He's yours now.
Yeah, he's down. He's down in San Diego.
You emptied out the bank vault.
Yeah, he's out. He's down by San Diego way now.
Barich with a little Mishra's Bobble action. 2 infect there for Stein.
Average age of our starting pitchers is like 23.
It's like 25, yeah.
23 years old or
None
whatever.
None of them are good. This is a kite sail freebooter. Get a little look at what's going on, perhaps. Barich is going to play Dismember on it with it on the stack. I mean, it's freebooter. I think we'll get to look but not take.
Yeah, you still get it.
Yeah. Blighted Agent, Mutagenic Growth, Groundswell. Not the best hand I've ever seen.
The good thing about Barich's hand right now is land's good, spell's good.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going back over to Barich. In with the Glistener Elf. No real good blocks to be had. See if Barich wants to maybe fire off Mutagenic Growth now since it's kind of clear to do that, or would he prefer to hold?
Well, I think that, he's going to be mindful about Dismember here.
Yeah, I guess the mana is available. It's a really good point. Noble Hierarch does tap for mana now. Don't want to forget that that's a thing.
Barrett still may make the calculation here that it's good to put in a little bit, but I don't think he is assuming that the coast is clear here.
Yeah, especially with Stein not attacking to get a point of damage through. And Barich's very unsure of himself. You don't see this oftentimes from our Infect player. And if he wants to Pendlehaven, if he wants Mutagenic Growth, if he wants to play Blighted Agent, what the plan here is.
Yeah, it's a tricky turn if he didn't draw a land, which I'm assuming is the case here. Because then you got to choose between activating Pendlehaven and maybe putting a pump spell out there versus tapping out for the Blighted Agent.
Let's see what this is. Become Immense. Yeah, you're going to get dismembered. Wow. A little surprised he went for that?
Well, there's not... If you think that Stein has Dismember, if that's the card you're thinking about, the sequence that happens is Stein instead uses Dismember on the Blighted Agent, and then you never have a chance to convert the Become Immense into anything because Stein's going to be able to block for the rest of the game.
Sure.
So it's not the worst opportunity there for Barich to pick a spot to try to go for it, because the upside's huge. And the downside is, it looks bad. Obviously, it's this whole turn. He got blown out in combat, but I don't think the downside is that much worse than if he just plays Blighted Agent and that gets hit by Dismember.
Champion of the Paris, Thais Lieutenant, pump up the jam on the friends, attack with the Noble Hierarch. Here's a Blighted Agent for Barich. We're going to head back over to Stein.
And if Barich's hand is loaded, which could be the case here because he's missing land drops, it's possible he's even happy to make the trade of the Elf plus the Become Immense because now the coast is clear for the Blighted Agent. The creatures can't block, and Stein only has so many Dismembers in the deck. Imagine it the other way, where the Dismember lines up with the Blighted Agent, and then you have the blockers against the Glistener Elf. Much worse for Barich.
This is another copy of Thalia's Lieutenant. What Stein is lacking here, folks, is some disruption. Don't see it right now. Got a Vial and a land in hand, it looks like. Hey, he's got to get busy. It says get in the red zone. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, if he's a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, if he's a point short, it's obviously not ideal.
Now, the one thing worth noting here is this. If Barich goes down to 1, that means the Mutagenic Growth cannot be cast for its alternate casting cost.
Yep.
Got to actually pay the green now. That could matter.
And all Barich can do is throw his hand on the table and hope it's good. And if he can't play that Mutagenic Growth and he probably can't make a land drop this turn because most of his lands require a point of damage. Going to be hard to do it.
And that is going to do it. Abraham Stein's going to win this game and match here over Aaron Barich. Humans going to take down Infect 2-0. Abraham Stein is on top of the standings. He